Yeah. We want to know who was Lincoln's Secretary of War. Who was Lincoln's Secretary of War? We talked about it for about 10 minutes today. Who was Lincoln's Secretary of War? If you know, be the first caller at 877-969-8600. That's 877-969-8600. And you will win the two Dr. Bill, your Radio MD coffee mugs. Ain't that right, Doc?
You got it, buddy. And remember, if you are married, if you're two married people who are deaf and you get into an argument, you know how they do it. The husband turns around in circles and the wife runs in front of him signing with her hands. I love it. We'll be right back. I'm Dr. Bill. Got Ken by my side.
Here's the latest from the Answer News Center.
With SRN News, I'm Michael Harrington in Washington. Attorneys for Florida school shooter Nicholas Cruz are about to present their case for why they believe he should be sentenced to life in prison and not death. Lead public defender Melissa McNeil is expected to give her opening statement on Monday and then begin her team's case. They'll be trying to persuade at least one juror that their 23-year-old client should not be executed for the 2018 massacre at Parkland's Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. Somali authorities have ended a deadly attack in which 21 people were killed and dozens more wounded when gunmen stormed a hotel in the capital. It took Somali forces more than 30 hours to contain the fighters who had stormed Mogadishu's Hyatt Hotel. And China's agriculture ministry says it'll try and protect its grain harvest from record-setting drought by using chemicals to generate artificial rain. This is SRN News.
AM 860, The Answer. Listen on our website, theanswertampa.com, on 100.3 FM, W229DJ Dunedin, by downloading the Answer Tampa app, or on TuneIn or Odyssey.
Dr. Bill for Bay Area Medical, located at 6399 38th Avenue North in St. Pete, 727-384-6411, 727-384-6411. Full-service clinic with x-ray, heart imaging, ultrasound, stress testing, and minor surgery. We provide quality health care in a warm and friendly atmosphere. We are multilingual, well-trained, and certified. Most American insurance and new patients accepted. Bay Area Medical, home of Can Care, 727-384-6411, 727-384-6411.
Dr. Bill here. With social distancing and sheltering in place, telemedicine is here. Bay Area Medical, home of Can Care Clinic offers telemedicine for new and established patients. You can see me without an in-office visit. Schedule an appointment at 727-384-6411, 727-384-6411. When it's time for your appointment, type this web address into your cell phone or computer web browser, doxy.me/Bay Area Med. A cell phone works well and is all you really need. For computers, you need a web camera and speakers. We'll give you this address when you call for your appointment. We accept most insurances and travel insurances. Canadians and visitors, please call your travel insurance company for an authorization number prior to the visit. Co-pays and deductibles apply. Self-pay rates are available. Just ask. We accept credit cards, PayPal, and Stripe. 727-384-6411, 727-384-6411.
Dr. Bill here. My friends at St. Pete MRI and Sleep Diagnostics are your best choice for state-of-the-art MRI, CT, and sleep studies. Quality unsurpassed. 25 years experience makes St. Pete MRI my go-to imaging center. Self-pay rates are competitive and out-of-pocket cost a fraction of a hospital. Conveniently accessible from both sides of the bay at 750 94th Avenue North, St. Pete, near the Gandhi. 727-577-2220, 727-577-2220.
Help us support our Bundles of Hope campaign. Call 800-280-8108.
Times of clouds and sunshine today with a thunderstorm in spots late in the afternoon with a high 94. Tonight, clouds breaking with a low 79. Partly sunny tomorrow with a thunderstorm in the area in the afternoon with a high 94. Plan with confidence. Download the redesigned AccuWeather app today. That's your AccuWeather forecast. I'm Gregory Patrick for AM 860, The Answer.
And I'm back. This is Dr. Bill. So we're talking all kinds of things this morning. Ken, I wanted to talk about the diabetic drug, the
GLP-1 receptor blockers or whatever they are, agonists, antagonists, I forget which one they are. At any rate, things like Trulicity. This is a really big deal because it has revolutionized the treatment of type 2 diabetes, adult onset diabetes. Now, the difference between type 1 and type 2 is that with type 1, you don't make any insulin, and that's usually in childhood that you start with that. Type 2 is where you may start to decrease the amount of insulin you make, but you also have resistance in the peripheral cells to the insulin effect. So you think of it as you got the gasoline in the system, but you don't have a carburetor to get it into the little engines inside the cell to work. That's the way that goes. So at any rate, the glucagon-like protein, this thing is, glucagon is the opposite of insulin. Insulin forces sugar down by pushing it into the cells and storing it in the liver and turning it into fatty acids to be stored in the fat. And so glucagon does just the opposite. It kicks sugar out of the liver. It ramps up your sugar content in your bloodstream, and it makes the fatty acids break down and turn back into sugar. So this is a balanced hormonal thing that we do, and it's in the gut and in the pancreas. So this glucagon-like protein, it increases insulin secretion and increases insulin production. It actually increases the beta cells production in your pancreas. The beta cells are the cells that actually make the insulin. There's different cell families that live in the pancreas, and it also decreases apoptosis of beta cells. Apoptosis is the natural death of those cells, and it decreases glucagon secretion. So these GLPs are really great things for diabetics. And guess what? It can also help you lose weight. Did you know
now
that?
You're talking.
Yeah, and I've had a few patients who have asked me for that just for weight loss. Now, it is for the most of these, they are injectables once a week or once a day. So you have to learn how to give yourself a shot, but it's like insulin. You have to learn to give yourself a shot with insulin. Here's the thing, though. It is expensive. It is very expensive. By the way, I put a slide. I think I was streaming, Ken. I didn't realize it, but I put up a slide on the internet for people to look at as to how this GLP works. And the names of these drugs include Trulicity, Bydureon, Byetta, Ozempic, Victoza, Rybelsus, and you probably hear a lot of these being named on TV in an advertisement. So I think that a couple of them are good at weight loss. Not all of them are as good, and you can lose a lot of weight. My diabetics who I put on these medications, or who are on these medications, I should say, they actually have lost weight and have done really well in their hemoglobin A1C, which is a look back at your blood sugar over 4 to 6 weeks. What it is, it's a look at the amount of sugar that's attached to your red blood cells. So the higher your sugar levels are, the more the red blood cells will pick up the sugar and hang on to it on their cell membranes, kind of like sticky stuff,
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I was cleaning up the office and pulling wire, and I pushed my wife's bookcase out in her office to get back there. Oh, my God, what a mess. There was a piece of candy stuck to the wall, Ken. It was kind of dribbling down the wall over the years. I'm like, at any rate, so,
What does this stuff cost, by the way? You said it's expensive. How
it's
much?
expensive.
What are we talking about?
It's expensive. Now, if you are poor and you don't have insurance, there are programs that will help you that the drug companies have, and you can call the different companies. There's also something called GoodRx, and I'll throw that slide up there for the internet folks. Let me see if I can get to that. GoodRx. I'll put that up there. Now, GoodRx, Ken, is a program, and I don't know who subsidizes it, but
probably through advertisements and through private subsidies, wealthy people like Bill Gates, you can have your medication costs drastically reduced by going to GoodRx, GOOD-RX, that's on the internet, and they've got coupons, is it coupons or coupons?
It's actually coupons.
Coupons, okay, coupons, and you can get a coupon, and so like something that would cost you $150, you can get it down to $20. Now these GLPs, they're like $800 to $1,000 a month.
Whoa. Oh, whoa.
They're not cheap, and but you can, with a GoodRx coupon, you can get it down lower than that, but it's still not going to be cheap. Some of the insurance plans will pay for this, but you have to get your doctor or your nurse practitioner to fill out the forms and do all that crap that they make us do. And you have to have already tried things like metformin and different diabetic medications. But now, if you're penniless or you're below a certain income level and you don't have insurance, you can call Eli Lilly or one of these other companies. They've got 800 numbers, and you can look it up online. And they've got programs where they'll give you a year's free medication, free. And then you just have to reapply each year until you get some cash or get some insurance. Most people feel guilty about taking freebies, so they try to, improve their lot. But there's a few people that don't or can't. And for those who can't, this is a great thing, and it really helps. So I would say that using something like GoodRx to get your drugs is, if you're having trouble financially and you don't have the insurance coverage, is a great item. It's just a great item, and I would recommend it to anybody who is in need of a little help or whose insurance doesn't cover their medications. Now, I think Part C of Medicare covers medications, but not all medications can.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, if you are on Medicare, you cannot participate in some of these subsidized plans from the drug companies. Did you know that?
No, why not?
Because there's some federal law that they passed that you couldn't do that. Now, I think that the new bill that was passed, the Inflation Reduction Act, which has already pushed up the cost of my electricity. I think Duke Energy looked at the bill and got nervous. And at any rate, so the Inflation Reduction Act, I think, is going to change some of that, and it's also going to allow the government to or Medicare to negotiate with the drug companies directly. Some people think, even doctors think, that the problem is the drug manufacturers like Lilly and Merck and Pfizer, and that's not necessarily the case. We have these pharmacy benefit managers that work for these large mail order pharmacies and these big pharmaceutical, or not pharmaceutical, but these big drugstore company chains like CVS and Walgreens. And they actually control a lot of the pricing, and they control what they'll buy and what they'll put on the formulary for. Let's say you've got Optum RX for your home delivery for your drug plan. The guy that's in charge, or the committee that's in charge of deciding what will be on the formulary for Optum RX and how much it's going to cost you, are the people that are making the final pathway decisions. So this is a problem that this bill hopes to address, but I'm not really I'm not real sanguine about this. I may be wrong.
Are these guys like middlemen? Would that be a correct description of them?
They're more like purchasing agents for large plans, large pharmaceutical benefits plans. So they're kind of like your drugstore.
Mm-hmm.
And they also control other drugstores, big chains like CVS, and they can audit them. If CVS says, well, excuse me, CVS says, well, we want to be in your OptumRx circle. And OptumRx, which I think is owned by United Healthcare or one of the big insurers, says, okay, but you have to fall into line with what we want, and here's what you can charge and what you can't charge, and we're going to audit you, and you have to lower your prices on generics or raise your prices on this because you're charging too little. And so they'll go in and they'll even decide, well, we're not doing business with CVS anymore. We're going over to Walgreens. And they do that. And I have patients come in and they say, oh, my pharmacy has changed. Now I got to go to CVS, and I was with Walgreens. And then you got people who shop around and they'll find one pharmacy's charging $100 for medication and another pharmacy's charging $20. So the pharmacy benefit managers, they want to try to equalize everything and work it out the way they want. So,
Well, whatever happened to fair, what am I looking for? Price competition.
I think
There is none. They take it away.
I think that went out with the Democrats, didn't it? I think
if you're going to buy a car, you're going to go shop a couple of dealerships, find out where you can get the best deal. But if you got some middleman somewhere saying, oh, no, you got to sell it for this price and no other, that just sounds un-American, to tell you the truth.
No, and the whole landscape has changed. But, there's always going to be smart people who can figure out how to get around it and still make billions, and big companies that will manipulate the system. And they, I'm sure that they have some input into bills like the Inflation Reduction Act.
You think, Doc? Think they got a lobbyist or two up there?
I think they do. And remember that a lot of these guys in Congress, they get big money. I mean, big money from the pharmaceutical companies. And so what are you going to do if you're getting a bunch of your money from the pharmaceutical companies for your campaign? And by the way, you can keep your campaign money that you don't spend after you get out of office. Did you know that?
I didn't know about nationally. I know in some states that's true.
I think it's true nationally too, Ken, but I may be wrong.
Well, why not? They're politicians. Why would they make a rule against it? Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Why would you do that?
Well, yeah, why would you want to shoot yourself in the foot if you're getting big money? I mean, come on. What are you, dumb?
What am I thinking?
I mean, it's like Anna Paulina Luna. She was a liberal Democrat 2 years ago, and her name was Meyerhofer. And now all of a sudden she's got a Latino last name, and she's a conservative. I'm a little confused, but
you are what you say you are in this world now, Doc.
And you know what? She says, I'm going to do whatever I have to do to get where I want to go.
There you go.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
hey, we got a winner, Doc. You want to talk about the winner for a second?
Yeah, let's talk about. We want a winner.
We have a winner. It is Ken Dexter from Seminole.
Dexter,
south of Clearwater, I think. Ken Dexter.
Dexter. I wonder if he's dexterous, that Dexter fella.
Ambidextrous, maybe?
He could be. He might have been.
Either case, he won two. Dr. Bill, your radio MD coffee mugs will be on your way from the good doctor as soon as he can get to it. And the question was, by the way, who was President Lincoln's Secretary of War? Subject we talked about for about 10 minutes this morning, and it was Stanton. What's his first name? Stanton.
I think it was Edward Stanton.
Edward Stanton? Okay, well, there you go. Ken knew that. And won the coffee mugs. Congratulations, Ken, and thank you to everybody who called in. We had a lot of folks trying to win that today.
Really? We had a lot of call-ins, huh?
Oh, yeah. A lot of folks paying attention this morning, Doc.
By the way, I got to tell you, a couple of the women from the new group that I sold the building to, they came by, the physician assistant nurse practitioner and her medical assistant. They came by, and they just wanted to look around. And the medical assistant, I can't remember her name because, I have Nameheimers, which is the first part of Alzheimer's. What's your name, Ken?
I've had that for about 30 years.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I just cannot remember names.
So at any rate, she says, my next door neighbor, he just loves your show. He listens every Sunday. And you know what? I looked at one of your old shows on YouTube or Facebook, and she was going on and on. She was so thrilled to meet me. And I said, well, here, give him a mug. And she said, she said, can I have a picture with you giving me the mug? I said, sure. And so apparently...
Did she ask for your autograph?
I can't write. I've had a stroke, and neither one of my hands or my brain is working at this point. So I couldn't sign it, but no, she didn't. But they were so excited to meet me. I'm like, are you talking?
Well, you're a star, I tell you.
I'm a superstar. By the way, Mary Brockett, our sales lady, she called me last week, and she wants me to do this tour that they're having in September or October.
Oh, the Battlefield tour, yeah.
Yeah, with Gorkin and Mike Gallagher. But boy, they want big money, and I'm going to have to talk with Barb about it.
It's big exposure, though.
Yeah, I'm thinking, should I do it? I mean, it could be national exposure. It could be
Well, yeah, it could be. It couldn't hurt the name, you know.
Yeah, and maybe I could get some real sponsors and not just Dr. Bill's medical practice.
Possibility too, sure.
I don't know.
It's going to be fun. I suggest everybody go.
And I suggested to the manager of the new group that he split it with me, and he could have some of the advertising. Apparently, it's 100 spots, 30-second spots over September and October. That's pretty good, you know.
Yeah, you do a co-op kind of thing. You just split it.
Yeah, I'll have to call him. Mary said, I have to know by the end of the week. But, Mary, I mean, she's like pressure personified. If you don't call me back right away, you're going to lose this opportunity. I'm thinking, I wonder how many people are willing to chunk out that.
Are you up? I got a VIP kind of thing going with that? Up on a stage or something?
Yeah, I'll be on the stage. I better be a speaker or I'm not going. I mean, come on, I'm smarter than Gorkin.
Hey, not just Gorkin, but Mike Gallagher's going to be there too.
You know what? I would never say anything negative about Mike Gallagher. He has always been very kind to me. I've seen him in the office a few times, and when I went to the Republican convention, it was here in Atlanta, a decade ago now, he was one of the first people to come up to me and shake my hand and show me some kindness, and I couldn't get to Geraldo Rivera. He was always talking. He never shuts up. Oh my God, he had some people with him that I don't know who they were, but he just went on and on and on and on and on. I was like, this isn't worth it. I'm not standing in line to talk to that little shrimp.
He's still looking for some money in Al Capone's safe, I think. Somewhere.
Yeah, I think he is. And, he's morphed from an ultra-liberal to kind of this middle-of-the-road guy, and I don't know.
He's always been all over the place.
He's yeah. But what he's really good at is self-promotion.
He's very good at that, yeah.
But they have to give him a high chair when he comes onto the stage.
Well, you might want to consider the Mary thing. That sounds like a pretty good opportunity.
Yeah, and I wanted to run that by you guys out there and see what you think. I mean, if everybody thinks it's a good idea and you can call the station and give a yay or a nay, I'll go ahead and do that. But apparently it'll be aired nationally on the radio.
And you can go to it. I think it's like a $5 general admission if you just want to go.
Yeah, if you want to go, it's cheap, and because I'll be subsidizing it for you. And I could be doing Relief Factor as one of my ad spots.
There you go.
There you go. All right. So, what do you think about the stock market before we go off the air? I got to tell you, I can't believe the way the economy is, and the stock market's still doing
buzzing
well.
Along.
What is going on here? Is this?
It's like all the economic rules have been thrown out the window.
Do you think that eventually there'll be a reckoning, that it'll be, the real GDP has only gone up about 2% since 2019, and payroll jobs, the payroll has dropped relative to inflation. Consumer prices have inflated over 14%, Ken, in the past 2 years.
Tell me about it. Yeah.
And and the stocks keep going up. The S&P over the past 2 years, since 2019, or 3 years now, has gone up almost 30%. Growth has gone up 45 to 50% for the companies in the S&P 500. Valuations have gone up. I mean, what's going on here? Who are they selling to? And where's the reckoning? When's that going to happen?
That's going to happen if we head into a nasty recession and everybody stops spending. Then profits go down, and then that's when the stock market goes down with them.
If you keep raising the interest rates, then the companies are going to start cutting back on capital expenditures, which will cut into the cost of large, goods that are produced for manufacturing, like drug manufacturing equipment, and I can speak to that since I have a little bit of that. And so things are going to get more expensive, and we still have the tariffs on the imports from China. Fortunately, I got a lot of stuff right before that was put in place by President Trump. Not that I disagreed with him, but, I like it cheap, Ken. I like it cheap.
Yeah, well, everybody else does too.
I mean, come on. I paid $10 for a pair of blue jeans in 1960s, and I'm only paying $20 out at Sam's Club now.
That's right. That's cheap labor in China. That's what
cheap labor. Yeah, and that's not new. The Chinese have been providing cheap labor for the world for hundreds of years, and we should be grateful. I mean, we don't want them to overtake us. But by the same token, we do appreciate what they've done for us, and I hope they appreciate what we've done for them.
Going back to this subject, I'm not sure when. I don't know. If I knew when the market was going to fall, I'd be a rich man. You know what I mean?
Well, I think the best strategy is what they call dollar cost averaging, where every month you put in a little bit of money into a large mutual fund or a spider fund. The spider funds are funds that invest proportionately in, say, all of the S&P 500 stocks. So if Apple is the largest stock there, let's say it has 5% of the market share, they'll put 5% of that money into Apple. And so you just put your money in every month, and you don't look at it and you don't worry about it. And you know what? If you look at the market from 1900 up to now, it's done nothing but gone up. It just keeps.
Yeah, it really is a good time to be investing. It really has been the last 20 years, really.
Yeah, I mean everything's just keeps going up. And
Doc, we have about 30 seconds left. You want to promote a business?
Yeah, let's do it. I am Dr. Bill, your radio MD, and we have the COVID vaccine, we have COVID shots, and we have the COVID treatment center for you. We also
10 seconds.
Cardiology. I'm gone. I'm out of here, Ken. Bye.
All right, Doc. Next week. We'll see you then.
See you later, buddy.
Thank you for listening to Dr. Bill, your radio MD. Join Dr. Bill every Sunday morning at 9 for more insight, information, provocation, and fun. Dr. Bill Handelman practices in St. Petersburg, Florida at Bay Area Medical Can Care Clinic, 6399 38th Avenue North. For your convenience, telemedicine appointments are available. Call his office today at 727-384-6411. That's 727-384-6411. Or visit his website at cancareclinic.com.